Malunkyaputta asked Buddha to give him meditation guidelines to practice. So Buddha gave him meditation guidelines. Ita de Malunkyaputta data sutta mutta vinya de sutta mesu date data matam bhavesati Sute sutta matam bhavesati mude mutta matam bhavesati vinyate vinyata matam bhavesati. Malunkyaputta, of those things seen, heard, reached, and cognized, in what is seen, there will be only the seen. In what is heard, there will be only the heard. In what is reached, there will be only the reached. In what is cognized, there will be only the cognized.
Recording in progress.
So very short meditation guidelines, but it is very important. It describes in essence the practice of vipassana meditation. Buddha said things seen, heard, reached, and cognized. So when Malunkyaputta asks question, he asks about six kinds of objects: visible objects, audible objects, and so on. When describing the practice of vipassana, Buddha used only 4 words or four expression: data, sutta, mutta, vinyata. So yogi can practice only very short instruction. Data matam bhavesati. When you see, you must stop. Just at what is seen, you must not put any value on the seeing, or you must not put any color to the seeing. When you see the visible objects, you take it. That means you should not take it to be beautiful or ugly, or you should not take it to be permanent, satisfactory, or substantial, and so on. That is you coloring the object. If you do not take the visual objects, rupa, as permanent or substantial or pleasant, you just stop at what is seen. Then you are said to be observing that object, visible object, correctly. In what is seen, with regard to what is seen, there will be only the seen. So Satipatthana Sutta, you're very familiar. Satipatthana Sutta and Malunkyaputta, the direction are same or not same? Muni. Satipatthana Sutta, the same or not same? Direction are the same or not same? Direction, what the Buddha direction? what Buddha want to mean. Yes. And Satipatthana, the direction of fourth foundation of mindfulness and the direction of Malunkyaputta are the same. The same here, Buddha mentioned, when you see, you have to know seeing. Kaya kaya nupasi viharati. Kaya, what is kaya? Body. What kinds of nature have kaya? Impermanence, unsatisfactory, and non-self. So the kaya nature is impermanence, unsatisfactory, and non-self. And how do you observe? You observe as impermanent or permanent. You have to observe the impermanent as impermanent. You have to observe satisfactory or unsatisfactory. Unsatisfactory. You observe the kaya as substantial or insubstantial. Unsubstantial. So that is, you observe the kaya as they really are. So it is Satipatthana. Now here Malunkyaputta Sutta the same. You see the visible objects as impermanent. You see the visible object as unsatisfactory, and you see the visible objects as unsubstantial. Unsubstantial. So when you recite Satipatthana Odesa Bali, you need to understand the meaning, body in the body, what kinds of nature have body. The body have the nature of anicca, dukkha, anatta, and you observe the body, kaya, as anicca, dukkha, and anatta. So to understand the kinds of anicca, dukkha, anatta, what you need, atapi, you need to have energy. Satima, you need to have mindfulness. And you need to have sambhajano, clear comprehension or wisdom, and concentration. So Satipatthana Sutta and Malunkyaputta, the direction or intention of the Buddha are the same. The same. So can you all follow me? Kaya kaya nupasi viharati. Bhikkhu dwells contemplating the body, which is merely a nature, dukkha and anatta. In the body, which is a nature, dukkha and anatta. Ardent, clearly comprehending, and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. So the kaya, the nature is anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanent, unsatisfactory, and non-self. And you observe the kaya as anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Here, dikti, ditthamma, dhammoisati, the same. You see the visible objects as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Seeing consciousness, anicca, dukkha, anatta. So all the directions are the same. And Vedana, Citta, and Dhamma also the same. All are nature of anicca, dukkha, anatta. You must see Yogi have to observe these Citta, Vedana, Dhamma as impermanence, unsatisfactory, and unsubstantial. So yogi have to observe these natural phenomena or namarupa as they really are. Pay attention to the natural phenomena or namarupa as it is. Don't add anything of your own. Don't color the natural phenomena. Don't add anything to the natural phenomena. You have to be going along with the natural phenomena as they really are. So very simple, very clear. Dite dita matam boisati, sute sutta matam boisati, vinyate vinyata matam boisati. Just stop as what is seen, then you are said to be observing the object correctly. So now the commentary explains the statement in 3 different ways. The first explanation is just as translated here. In what is seen there will be only the scene, only the scene, only the objects which is seen, and no other coloring or whatever on that object. So another explanation is according to that explanation, the scene really means seeing consciousness, nama. When you see something, there is consciousness in your mind. With that mind, you are said to see. That seeing consciousness is called data, the seeing. So what is meant here is with regard to what is seen, there must be only the seeing. There will be the measure of seeing consciousness and nothing more. Or there will be the impulsion stage, which is the same quality or the same nature as the seeing consciousness. So data matamboisati, to understand this, yesterday we listened the witty process. Before seeing, in the seeing process, first there come in active consciousness. There is Pavinga. And when visible objects comes into the avenue of the eye sensitivity, when the visible object strikes at the eye sensitivity, the flow of inactive consciousness is disturbed. When it is disturbed, it vibrates and is shaken. So 3 moments, after 3 moments, 3 Chaitagana, it ceases, and there come an active consciousness. At that moment, the mind turns towards the present object, and the mind turns towards the active series of consciousness. So that moment is just called Pincha Dwara Vijana, turning moment. After the turning moment, there comes seeing consciousness. After the mind has turned to the visible objects, the mind see it, and that is called Chakku Vijnana, seeing moment or seeing consciousness. So after the seeing moment disappear, there comes receiving moment, and then receiving moment is Sampadicana, and then there comes investigation moment, Santirana, and then Votapana, determining moments. So the object is investigated as to whether it is desirable or undesirable, whether it is agreeable or disagreeable or neutral. So this state near to the arising of kilesa. So once the object is determined, there follow moments of experiencing of the object. These moments are said to run 7 times. So these moments can be accompanied by either attachment or craving, or they can be accompanied by anger or hatred or aversion or delusion. Normally, they arise akusala javana, unwholesome javana. But if you are inclined to do wholesome deeds, kusala javana, wholesome javana, arise for the people who are inclined to do merits. After these very active moments of thoughts, there follow two moments. These 2 moments take the objects taken by the active moment preceding them. That is called Dadaramana, registering consciousness. So altogether 17 Chitakana, 17 mind moments. So Masi Sierra, for example, we have to recite. Can you look at the paper? The number 2, the process of consciousness at the moment of seeing. 17 thought moments or 17 Chitakana. Number 2, the process of consciousness at the moment of seeing. So can you follow me? Number 1, after life continuum and adverting comes seeing and receiving. Number 2, investigating, determining, 7 impulsion, and 2 registering. Number 3, when seeing occurs, there is a process of consciousness that takes place. Number 4, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, these processes of consciousness are similar to seeing. So number 5 is not seeing consciousness. It is manodvara, thinking consciousness. So if you're not mindful, the process keep going, and there comes manodvara viti. In that manodvara viti, impulsion and registering come after Uttavana decides. So I did mistake after avijjana. So you have to change after avijjana. The correct words are impulsion and registering come after avijjana. AVAJJANA. Avijjana. So number 5, can you follow me? Impulsion and registering come after avijjana. This is the way in which the thinking process arises. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, that is seeing consciousness, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching consciousness. And then number 5 is manodvara viti, that is thinking process. In this process, there come manodvara vijjana, impulsion 7, and registering 2. So altogether 10 Chittagana will arise in this manodvara viti, number 5. So that is 17. The lifespan of the rupa is 17 Chaitagana, 17 thought moments, and it disappears. So you need to remember together with Pali, life continuum is Pawenga, number 1. Adverting is Avijjana, and Chakku Vinyana is seeing consciousness, and receiving is Sampadicana. And number 2, investigating is Santirana, and determining is Mutabana, and impulsion is Javana, 7 Javana, and 2, registering is Dadaramana. Dadaramana, you need to remember Pali and English. So hearing consciousness, smelling, tasting, touching consciousness together, the same. After life continuum and adverting come hearing consciousness, receiving consciousness, then number 2, investigating, determining, 7 impulsion, and 2 registering, and then Bhavinga altogether 17 Chitakana or 17 mind movements. So the commentary gave an example. So there was a man, he is sleeping, a man is sleeping under a mango tree. When he was sleeping, a mango falls. So that man wakes up, startled by a mango. The mango fall near his ears. So that man look at the mango. That man look at it to see what is it, and he see a mango. So he take it up in his hands. So he squeezed the mango and examine the mango. So after smelling the mango, he knows that mango is ripe. So that man eats the mango. So after thinking the taste of the mango, that man goes back to sleep. That is commentary gave to that seeing consciousness process. So this example is similar to the process of Viti consciousness, Jagu Dwara Viti. So being asleep is like life continuum consciousness, Bhavinga. The man is sleeping, it is like a Bhavinga Citta. When we sleep, no seeing consciousness, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching consciousness, just Bhavinga, life continuum. So Bhavinga Citta has taken the three, that is Bhavinga Citta take Kama or Kama Nimitta or Gati Nimitta, Kama, science of Kama or destiny, science of destiny. Then the impact of falling mango, which startled the man, is like vibrating Bhavinga. And Bhavinga Chalana, Bhavingu Picheda, cut off Bhavinga. So he wake up, and after waking up, he inquire about what the object is. So that is inquiring is like avijana citta, adverting or turning the object. Then the man see the mango. Seeing the mango is like Jagu Vijnana, seeing consciousness, we see the visible object. So that man take the mango, taking up the mango is like Sampadechana Citta, receiving consciousness. So after receiving, what the man do? The man squeeze the mango and examine the mango. Squeezing the mango and examining it is like Santirana or investigating consciousness. And he smelled the mango and taste the mango. Evaluating the mango is like Otapana, determining consciousness. After determining, after evaluating the mango, the man eats the mango. Eating the mango is like Javana. Javana very powerful, 7 times. So thinking over the taste of the mango is like Dhadamana or registering consciousness. Then going back to sleep is like the reverting back to Bhavinga or life continuum consciousness. So that is commentary give that example. So what is meant by data matam and what is seen? There will be only the seen. After seeing, if you can stop at the Otapana, determining consciousness, and not go over to the Javana, impulsion, the moments of really experiencing the objects, that is the best. So what is the best way? The best way to do is to stop at the Otapana, determining moments. And not get into taking the objects as permanent and so on. So it is possible to stop at such a very short moment and not let it run until the end of the process. Now yogi are practicing this to get this process. When your mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom mature, then yogi will be able to stop even at the moments of Utthapana and now go over to what is called Javana impulsion. So what happens if we cannot stop there? If we cannot stop Utthapana, there will be the Javana moments, and there will be the most productive moments. There may be either wholesome or unwholesome mental states. So if we cannot stop there, and then there we follow another mental process, another thought process. Normally we do not stop there. We have another thought process because we always go back to what we have seen or what we have experienced. So when we practice meditation in the first few days, the minds go back to the past, so thinking a lot. So it is our nature. So teacher remind the yogis, don't behave like a cow chewing the cud, because we used to go back to the past. So the next moment of the next phase is the recollecting phase. During the recollecting phase, our mind takes the objects which has just been seen, which has disappeared from the avenue of the eye. So this is recollecting phase. Takes the objects which has just gone out of existence. If we cannot stop at the first thought process, we may be able to stop at the second thought process. If we can stop at the second thought process, it is still good, because that thought process takes the objects which is a reality. In the practice of meditation, yogi should take the objects as they really are, real objects. That is ultimate reality. But in the thought process, it is not concept yet. It is just still paramattha, real stage. If yogi cannot stop at the second, yogi will go over to the third phase. That phase, during the third phase, you begin to see not reality, but the piñati, the concept. So you begin to see things, or you begin to see a being or a man or woman. because shape and form clear, shape and form make you appear conceptual. So during the first phase or the second phase, what you see is just the visible objects, rupa, or real object. You cannot say that you see a things or you see a man or woman. But here, that in the third phase, you come to see the man, the woman, who and who you can see clearly. So when you see the concepts that is not real, they have become liking and disliking about these things. So after coming to the third stage, you go over to the fourth stage. You think of the names of those concepts. So at the third phase, you just see a man or woman. But the word man or woman, you can say, I see a man, I see a woman, I see a things, and so on. So that is how the person goes from instantaneous seeing to concepts, viññāti, when he or she cannot note seeing immediately. He not mindful, so he collect all kinds of concepts. So Mahasi Sierra aphorism we have to recite. Can you look at the paper number 3? How one goes from instantaneous seeing to concepts when one cannot note seeing immediately. Can you follow me? Number 1, the moment visible objects appears, just seeing occurs. The moment visible objects appear, just seeing occurs. So the real one is real one, visible objects are real one, paramatta, paramatta, and seeing consciousness also paramatta, ultimate reality. And then number 2, after seeing, you reflect and think about the object. After seeing, you reflect and think about the object. So that is first recollecting phase. So stay in this stage. It is only paramatta, not viññāti yet. And number 3 and number 4, we go to the concepts. Number 3, can you follow me? Number 3, concept of form arises in your mind. Concepts of form arises in your mind. So mindfulness and understanding are weak, concentration weak. So the process keep going, and then shape or form are very clear, beautiful or ugly very clear, and then we see a man, we see a beautiful man, we see a beautiful woman, etc. Shape and form arises. So that is concept coming, and then keep going on. Number 4, can you follow me? Then you know name concept. Then you know name concept. After seeing the form, shape, and then you can see the name. You know the name of that things, that man or that woman, etc. That is also concept. So continue. Can you follow me? At first sight, there is only seeing. After seeing, there is reflecting. Then the conceptual form appears. After that, you know name concept. So that is when the person, mindfulness, concentration, and understanding weak. So everything he collect, concept, ugly or beautiful or man or woman, because he cannot capture the reality, real namarupa. So conceptual form and conceptual name. So all everything, every concept he collect. So at least there are these four thought processes arising one after another when the person sees something. So people have been seeing things and they have been taking them at the conceptual stage for so long that it is almost impossible for them to stop at the end of the first process and at the end of the second process. So people almost always run over into the third and fourth phases. In the third and fourth phases, they collect all concept. So that is why people cannot see under normal circumstances when they are not meditating. So they cannot see things as they really are. Here, Buddha encouraging, observe the natural phenomena as they really are. As they really are. And also yogi pay attention to the natural phenomena as they really are without adding anything of their own. Yogi try to be aware, try to capture the natural phenomena. When sitting, you know sitting. When rising, you know rising, etc. So what yogi are doing, yogi trying to capture the natural phenomena as they really are in order to see phenomena as they really are. And they apply mindfulness, concentration, understanding with diligence, with singleness of purpose. So Mahasi said, aphorism, we have to recite number 4, how Paramattha is known and how wisdom arises when yogi can note immediately. Now yogi very busy because all the phenomena are coming continuously, and whatever they see, they know seeing. Whenever they hear, they know hearing. Whenever walking, stepping, stretching, bending, thinking, everything yogi are noting. So yogi is very, very busy to capture every phenomena continuously. So when yogi observe what arises, wisdom arises because yogi continuously noting. So number 4, how paramata is known and how wisdom arises when yogi can note immediately. That is multi-sera aphorism. We have to recite. Can you follow me? If you note seeing, as soon as you see. If you note seeing, as soon as you see, you stop at just the seeing process. You stop at just the seeing process. You know that mind and matter are separate, and you also know arising and disappearing. You know that mind and matter are separate, and you also know arising and disappearing. You understand the 3 characteristics of impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-self. You understand the 3 characteristics of impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-self. So very simple. When you see something, you have to know seeing. As soon as you see, as soon as you hear, you have to know hearing. And then what happened? You can stop the seeing process. Normally we thinking a lot. We very curious about the object, but in meditation area or retreat, don't be curious. Don't looking for anything. Just eye restraint, ear restraint, etc., and just noting continuously. And then you can stop the seeing process. You know the nama rupa. You can capture the nama and rupa clearly, and then you can distinguish nama and rupa separate. Now you hear the sound, it disappear or not disappear. As soon as you hear and note, hearing, disappear. You also know arising and disappearing clearly, and then you practice many hours, many days, many weeks. So it makes your understanding mature, and your understanding of 3 characteristics: impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-self, getting clear. So it is for the yogi who are noting continuously and diligently, can see the paramattha. So according to the second explanation, there will be only the seeing. Data matter means the impulsion moments will be as the same measure or the same nature as the seeing consciousness. So in the first thoughts process, there is seeing consciousness. So if you study Abhidhamma, Chakku Vijnana, seeing consciousness is neutral or pleasant or unpleasant, Devamuni. Chakku Vijnana is sukha or dukkha or what when you Chaku Vinyana is upika equanimity. So when you study in Abhidhamma, Chaku Vinyana, seeing consciousness is just neutral. Chaku Vinyana, seeing consciousness is not accompanied by attachment or hatred or delusion. Because Chaku Vinyana, seeing consciousness is the product of some karma from our past. So previous life we have done good deeds and then we see good things, and Chaku Vinyana will be Somanasa. Sometimes we did evil deeds, bad deeds, unwholesome deeds, and then we see the bad things. So Chaku Vinyana we unwholesome. So Chaku Vinyana is not productive and it is neutral, neither wholesome nor unwholesome. So the second explanation means that we will make the jhana in passing moment have the same nature as the seeing consciousness. That means you make the impulsive moment accompanied by lobha and dosa, attachment or hatred. So another explanation that is not much different from the second explanation. In the third explanation, the commentator says that what is seen, data really means not only the seeing consciousness, but also receiving, investigating, and determining consciousness. So it means practically the same thing. So when Buddha said there will be only the seeing, that means we must stop at just what is seen and not go over to taking it as a being or as a man or woman, etc. And also we will not to have attachment or anger towards that visible object. In order to be able to do that, we have to be able to apply mindfulness, concentration, wisdom, or understanding with diligence. So now what you are doing is the very great job, because yogis are trying to get the reality. So to get the ultimate reality, now you come to for the retreat and practice seriously, diligently to get the kinds of natural phenomena. You can get a lot of benefits by searching for that natural phenomena as they really are. So when yogi reach the stage of vipassana knowledge, where he see the dissolution of phenomena, and when he reach the higher stages of vipassana knowledge, he will be able to stop at only what is seen and not let it go over. So there was a story during the time of the Buddha. There was a monk named Putila. Putila, that monk was very learned and he was a teacher of 500 students. He had 500 students. He said he was a Tipitaka. He carried 3 baskets of the teaching. But Putila was not interested in the practice of meditation, and so he did not practice Vipassana. And whenever Potila came to the presence of the Buddha, Buddha called him Tocha Potila. So that is no good. That means vain Potila or useless Potila. So when Potila heard the Buddha call him vain or useless, he was shaken. So why Buddha called me useless? Yes, Buddha called him useless because he had no megapala. He have no enlightenment yet. So Buddha called him Tocha, useless. So now Potila want to practice meditation. So he took the hint, and tried to practice meditation. So Potila went to a place 20 yojana far from Saviti. He went to the forest where 30 arahants were living. He went to the most senior arahants and requested him to teach him a subject of meditation. So the arahant thought that Potila might be too proud because he was a great teacher. He had 500 students. So the senior monk did not give him instruction, but sent Potila to the monk next to him in seniority. Also, that second senior monk did the same thing, sent him to the monk next to him in seniority. So the same thing happened with each monk until he came to the last monk. The last monk was only 7 years old, but he was also an arahant. So the monk Potila reverentially folded up his hands to the Samanera, who was an arahant. Even though Potila knew Tipitaka, 3 baskets of teaching of the Buddha, now he had no mana, no pride. So he reverentially folded up his hand and he asked the 7 years old arahant to give him a subject of meditation. The 7 years old arahant said, Bande, I'm 7 years old and I am inexperienced. Actually, it is I who must learn from you and not you from me. The Samanera said to monk Potila, but Potila insisted that the young arahant gave him instruction for meditation. So the young novice arahant asked Potila to test him if he would do whatever he told him to do. So Potila said, yes, whatever you ask, I will do. And Samanera said, there was a pond near the monk's cottage, and Bande Potila go to that pond. Samanera said to Putila, and without asking any question, Putila just entered into the pond until the edge of his robe got wet. Then the novice said, Bandi, please stop. And then Putila stopped there. After that, the novice was satisfied that now the monk Putila had no pride, no mana in him. Now Putila was obedient. Now Samanera knew. So he had no pride in him and he would follow whatever instruction were given to him. Samanera knew. So Samanera gave the instruction for meditation. Bande, suppose there is a mount where an iguana or a lizard lives. Suppose there are 6 holes in the mount. In order to catch that lizard, you have to close the 5 holes and you have to sit at the 6th hole to catch it when it comes out. This is my instruction for meditation. So very brief. There are 6 holes and you have to close 5 holes and you have to sit at the 6th hole to catch the lizard. That means you have to close the 5 senses and you have to act at the mind door, manodwara, or with the mind. So that much instruction is sufficient for the monk Bodhila to understand because he was Tibetan, he was well learned. So what the novice meant was not that you must close your eyes or you must close your ears in order to practice meditation. Even though it may be possible to close your eyes and ears, it is not possible to close your nose, it is not possible to close your tongue and body. So what the novice Arahant meant was that whenever some object is presented to these 5 senses, do not let there be the Javana stages. Javana stage, impulsion stage. Just stop at the Votapana determining stage and then go over to the Mindo and practice Vipassana meditation. Actually, he had to practice Vipassana meditation from the beginning. So whenever an object is presented to him, he must try to stop the process of thought at the moment of Votapana, determining stage, and not to let it go over to Javana moments, impulsion moment. So Putila practiced according to this teaching. After some time, Buddha delivered a stanza to Putila. So the Buddha stanza was like this: Yoga ve jayati buri, ayoga buri sinkhayo, etan dveda patanyatva bhavaya vibhavaya cha. Yatatana niveseya yata buri pavudati. That means wisdom springs from Vipassana. Without Vipassana, wisdom wanes. Knowing these 2 parts of progress and decline, let one conduct oneself so that wisdom may increase. So yogi choose the right path. So you know the progress and decline. You choose the progress. So long as you are continuously practicing vipassana, wisdom may increase gradually, continuously. So Buddha encouraged Bodhila with this stanza, and then he continued practice meditation, and finally Bodhila became an arahant. So in this story, we need to understand that it is possible to practice, possible to follow these instructions and to stop the flow of moments of consciousness from reaching to the uh, jhana stage. It is very, very difficult. So we need a lot of practice. We need a lot of patience and perseverance. We did that process. Tomorrow we will explain how yogi practice continuously and with his mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom, he can stop the flow of consciousness. He can stop at the stage of Votapana. He can capture the true nature of Namarupa. So we continue tomorrow. We have to stop our discourse for today by practicing vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses continuously and meticulously. May all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future. So we have to recite Mahasatipatthana Udesa Pali. Ekayano ayam bhikkhave mego sadanam visodiyam sogaparidevanam samadegamayam Dukkha Domanasanam Atingamaya Nyayasa Adigamaya Nibbanasa Sachikiriyaya Yadidam Chadaram Sadipatanam Gadame Chadaram Ida Bhikkhave Bhikkhu Kaye Kayanubasi Viharati Atabi Sambajanam Sadima Vinayam Loge Abhijadomanasam Vedanasu Vedananubasi Viharati Adavi Sambhajanam Saddhima Vinayam Loke Avijja Domanasam Jete Chetanubhasi Viharati Adapi Sambhajanam Satima Vinayam Loke Abhijja Domanasam Dhammesu Dhammanubhasi Viharati Adapi Sambhajanam Saddhima Vinayam Loke Avijja Domanasam. English translation. This is the only way, bhikkhus, for the purifications of being, coming of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, for reaching the noble path, for the realizations of nirvana, namely, four foundations of mindfulness. What are the four? Here in the teaching, bhikkhus just contemplating the body in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. Bhikkhus just contemplating the feeling, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. Bhikkhus contemplating the consciousness in the consciousness, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. Bhikkhus contemplating the Dhamma in the Dhamma, comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. Honoring and sharing merits. Imayam Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiyam Bodham Bhujemi Imayam Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiyam Dhammam Bhujemi Imayam Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiyam Sangham Bhujemi Imayam Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiyam Mata Bitaram Bhujemi Imayam Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiyam Achariyam Bhujemi Adaimayam Pativatiyam Gadaya Jaramarana Parimojayasami Idame Bonyam Asawakayawaham Odu Idame Silam Megavalanyana Pacayadu Imano Punya Bhagam Savasadanam Demam Sabe Satam Sukhida Omdu Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu